Hi, what's up, you guys? We're here live again with another episode of the Ground Up podcast. We are your host, Kazi,
NA.
and today we're going to be talking about something that we believe a lot of entrepreneurs deal with, which is how to deal with your mental health and still show up for the business.
Hmm.
Or we truly believe that it's something that a lot of us deal with on a daily basis. If not, it happens from time to time, and we're trying to figure. And I believe a lot of entrepreneurs are trying to figure out how to deal. So I'm gonna let Nate kickstart this whole conversation. I'm
Yeah,
gonna ask you the
so
question: how do you deal with your mental health and still show up for your people?
yeah, I mean, I remember first of all, let's back up and let me tell you guys about how I came to the revelation of prioritizing my mental health because I know as an entrepreneur, we're always on the go and we're always trying to do everything for our business, and it's sometimes a one man show, and so it's just like sometimes it gets hard to balance life and also your business, that sometimes that pressure builds up. And so I remember one time my business was flourishing, but then in my personal life I was going through a lot of stuff. It was like relationship problems, and I know it's a it's a topic like a lot of people don't want to speak on, but to say that your relationship problem doesn't affect your mindset at work, it does. What you have going on outside of work will start to show through how you work, how you move, because now you don't want to show up to your appointments. You're starting to show up late, or in the quality work that you're doing. And I
Mhm.
seen that relevant in my life at the time because I was going through relationship problems. And I remember one specific appointment with my client. I literally, like, I tried to put on a brave face and I still showed up to work and I was lashing. And I just remember speaking with my client. And, at these lash appointments, girls are inevitably going to tell you about their relationship. And then they're going to flip the question and ask you, so how are you and your man doing? And when I say I literally broke down crying because my mental health was just like not there. Literally, I got broken up with the day before, so it's just like at that time I was not prioritizing my mental health. I was just so focused on I have to do this for my business. But this is why it's important that we prioritize our mental health. Sometimes, in order for us to be great at what we do, you have to take care of what's going on in here and here. So yeah, that taught me there and then that I had to take some time away. I had to focus on I really had to, like, first of all heal, and second of all just take a step back to really get my mind right. How I did that was, I found different outlets of I either journaled or I prayed to God, and that's how I got my mental health right. But what about what about you? Do you have like a story like that of
Before we step into how I do
mhm,
deal with mental health, so I wanted to get into the nitty gritty because you said you're prioritizing your mental health,
mhm,
and you said you pray,
mhm,
and you said you talk with God.
mhm.
What else was there?
And I journal and
You
I
journal.
yeah, find an
Okay.
outlet.
So journaling, what does that look like? Is there like a framework you follow? Or do you just
Um
kind of like jot whatever comes to mind, what you're dealing with, so you can see it on paper? Like, what's your process?
So there's different forms of journaling that I do. I do about like two or three. So one form of journaling that I do is the traditional notepad and pen and paper. So I write down whatever I'm feeling, or sometimes I'll do a video journal, or where I'm basically just talking to camera like this and speaking on how I feel in that moment. And the third one would be like just a voice audio. I would record voice memos of just how I felt. And then what I would do in these voice notes is just be real, because I know a lot of times people ask you, "How are you? How are
Hmm.
you doing?" And sometimes we're just so automated to say, "Oh, I'm good."
Hmm.
But in these moments with just me and the camera or me and the pen and paper, that's where I'm able to just be real with myself
Be
and
vulnerable.
be vulnerable completely without feeling judgment or anything. And I'm able to express myself without, feeling the pressure of, oh, I have to say that I'm good because these people think so highly of me, or these people think that I have it all together. So that's how I journal. I'm
Do
just
you feel as if it's something that, like, you being vulnerable, it's you, I guess, you know how, like, some people, they bottle it up?
mhm.
You feel like that's your way of
Yeah,
releasing?
it definitely is my way of releasing, because at first before I started journaling, I used to bottle up everything. I would not be as open as I am now. And I feel like doing that and doing that practice of just allowing myself to just release without any regard to who's going to say what, because who's going to tell me, and that helped me to really understand my feelings, and
Mhm.
then really know where to go from here. Okay, and then I can go back to these journals and I can go back to these video diaries of and just watch and listen to myself and see pinpoint like, okay, well, I have a pattern of doing this,
Yeah.
and then I can go and fix it.
Yeah.
So that's what really helped me is to,
Mhm.
because sometimes we do things not knowing that sometimes we're causing our own pain, we're causing our own problems in life because we don't realize that we're doing these patterns over and over again. So that's how I take my video journals and I use it as a tool to fix whatever I need to
Yeah,
fix in my
I
life.
think it's good to talk about it a lot, and then I think that's a good strategy to use because what you said, you're able to kind of like hear yourself.
Mhm.
Because I feel like sometimes we have our thoughts on what we're dealing with, and we can't really visualize it unless you hear it,
Yeah.
right? So when you hear yourself talk about it out loud, you kind of get a visual, and you're like, "Oh, you're tripping about what?" You know what
Mhm.
I mean? It's like
Yeah.
you kind of like see your blind spots. You're
Yeah.
like, "You're tripping on this." You know what I mean? And
Exactly.
then two, like I would say journaling. I'm a true believer in journaling, and you can kind of see where your work growth needs to happen, and also when you've grown, right?
Mhm.
So, like, say you go back a few months ago when you're dealing with something, and see where your mindset was then
Yeah.
to where your mindset is at now.
Exactly.
It's kind of
Yeah.
like tracking, like in a business, tracking your analytics and seeing, it's like data when you have information, and then you see, okay, what can I switch up, and then when you do that and you implement new information, see where the growth is and see where you're lacking.
Mhm.
It kinda, like, just helps you track
Yeah,
where
and
you're
then
at, your
when
growth.
when you have like these journals and or like for me like the videos, when I go back and watch these, I kind of treat it as if it was somebody else and I'm watching on the other end receiving,
Mhm.
right? And I'm looking at this video of myself speaking, but I'm looking at it as the third person. I'm just like, why is this girl dealing with the
Yeah,
same
yeah.
person like over and over again? Because it's just like it's easy to see that pattern when you're watching it on screen. It's
Mhm.
just like, girl, hello, wake up. It's
Yeah,
just
like, I feel like
like,
the best advice you can give is the advice you take from yourself, you know what I mean?
hmm
So when you're hearing yourself, like what you said, I think that's dope too. You pretend it's somebody on the
hmm
you're the one that's on the receiving end, and what would you tell yourself in that moment?
yeah,
You know what I mean? And I
hmm
feel like you know the answers, and you know what that person has to do. Because I don't know about you, but, like, sometimes my clients tell me some things, and
yeah,
then, like, it's easier for me to give advice,
yeah.
right? So, but then when I'm hit with the same type of situation, and now I have to take advice from myself,
hmm
like, I remember I know what to do, but
Yeah.
it's easier said than done.
Mhm.
So when you hear yourself talking on that camera or you journal and you just kinda like, "Okay, I know exactly what you gotta do,"
Yeah.
and you move
Exactly.
accordingly.
Mhm.
So that's pretty dope. I like
But what
that.
about you? How do you like handle your mental health? Prioritize to make sure that you're good when it comes to business.
Um, so if I were to say it in one word, I would say compartmentalize. You know
Mhm.
what that is?
Yeah.
A
The where
compart
you like put it in like this time of the day I'm doing this, this time of the day I'm doing that,
Yeah,
and
so
like
I organize my thoughts and my emotions.
mhm.
So, like, in my mind, I put everything in boxes,
Okay.
right? And you can call it the box method. This box, for example, I label this box family. This box right here is marriage. This box right here is business. This box right here is personal development. This one's for my faith, so on and so forth,
Mhm.
right? And there's files within each and every one of these boxes. And these files is data, information, events that took place, my thoughts, my ideas, how, my emotions on certain things within these different boxes. And so, for example, when I left the house this morning, that I was in the family box.
Mhm.
So when I step into the business, I first closed that box and I put that back on the shelf, and now I'm opening up the box of business.
Mhm.
So I never, like in my mind, I only do one box at a time. I know
Mhm.
that females are wired differently; they can tap into different boxes. Than me, I know how I am. When I start mixing, like I have a file from business, file from the family, file from my spiritual. It's like I get overwhelmed to where I get into a point of anxiety. I know like how I'm wired. I believe a
Mhm.
lot of men are like that. We can only do one box at a time and we hone in on that one. So like when I step up in the business, now I'm present within my business and my client. And my ultimate objective is to make sure my clients they feel like I did them a service, right? Like
Mhm.
top tier, top quality type service. But I feel like when I start mixing boxes, I can't deliver on that
Yeah.
effectively and be present and give them my 110%. And same thing is when I'm at the house and I'm trying to do like tap into other things and bring it to the house, it's like then my family feels as if I'm not giving them my 100. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Because dad is doing other things.
Yeah.
Like he's not here with me. Like my daughters will tell me straight up when I'm in my phone, like, Dad, no, they want my eyes and my ears.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So when I'm in my phone, they feel like I'm not paying attention. And then that's where I'd fall short within, this department of family.
Yeah.
So compartmentalize, I make sure that my emotions, I keep all that, check it at the door. When I'm in the business, I'm in the business box. And when I'm done with that, close that box, and then I'll go into church. I go to, worship practice. Now we in this, doing
Mhm.
that. But yeah,
So you're
that's
saying like be present with whatever you're doing in that moment.
yeah. I mean, also, it's like if my clients want to, like when I'm dealing with my clients and my clients are, we're having a conversation and whatever topic they want to speak on, I can refer to other things, right?
Mhm.
Like they want to talk on family. Okay, I'm gonna dabble in that, because I want to be relevant. I want to be, I find common ground with my people in hopes that what I bring from these other boxes of lessons I've learned, I can help them, whatever they're
Mhm.
dealing with. But I don't get it confused. I'm in the business box. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it's if I go into these other departments or these other uh, boxes, it's more so to help my client. It's not
Mhm.
because I'm like thinking about the family, like what I'm gonna do after this. I wonder what they're doing right now, or like, man, I got all these other things I got to do. Because I think a lot of times too, people they deal with it's a thing called analysis paralysis, where they think about all the different things they got to do, right?
Mhm.
And then it puts them in a state of anxiety and feel this pressure to where they get overwhelmed, exhausted mentally, right? So I feel like if you were to compartmentalize your emotions, your thoughts, your ideas, and all these different things for whatever you got going. Some people have more boxes than me or than myself, or maybe you have, less boxes than I. But I think it's important to organize your thoughts, your emotions on certain boxes. That's what's
Mhm.
helped me. I'm not saying that's the only way because you have your way, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's just something that's helped me out because I've seen tattooers that come into the business and there's like this dark cloud because they're dealing with stuff at the house.
That's what I'm
You know what I mean?
saying. So what would you say to like somebody who's like going through so much at home and they can't, they try to what do you say? Compartmentalize,
Compartmentalize.
but like they're not able to because it's just like all these thoughts are like flooding their brain right now. And it's just like, what would you say to somebody that's dealing with that?
To take a little breather,
Mm-hmm.
to decompress. See,
Mm-hmm.
what the way the mind works is when you're at a state of like shock and you're at a state of stress, your brain isn't in its natural state, right? So you have to decompress
Mm-hmm.
and take a little breather. I don't know if you ever seen. Well, I'm pretty sure you've seen it. Men, boys, bad boys, with Will Smith and
Oh yeah.
when they did that Wusaw thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's them because they're like so pissed.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to decompress
Mm-hmm.
because when your brain is at a state of shock or like stress, um, and the rational thinking and critical thinking is out the window, and that's why it's dangerous for you to make any type of decisions
Mm-hmm.
or make any type of moves when your brain is like that. So you got to decompress
Yeah.
first, and then think about what you're gonna do after.
Mm-hmm.
So like I'm a true believer in not worrying and not having anxiety over anything, but the Bible talks about with prayer and petition, to not be anxious.
Mm-hmm.
So I take a little breather and I gain perspective, take a step back, like, okay, what am I gonna do about this? And
Yeah.
then again, when I step into the business, I put that file away and I was like, I'm gonna deal with that when I get back
Mm-hmm.
to the house because I don't want my
Mm-hmm.
clients to feel that energy of me like dealing with this right now.
Yeah. I mean, and I think too, it's important now that that we know, about prioritizing our mental health. I think it's important to recognize, the early signs. Just like with your body, right? You know when something's starting to hurt, you're gonna go get something to ensure that it doesn't get worse. Same thing like with your mental health. If you notice like the little signs, and you know yourself better than anybody else will know, so you know like if you're starting to feel like lack of motivation or maybe extra tires, it's important to take that time to decompress, like you said, so that you don't get burnt out. One and two, you don't have like a mental breakdown because you're so like on the go all the time. You haven't allowed yourself that time to just prioritize your mental health and do what you have to do to get right.
So think about what you're thinking about, and
Mhm.
how you feeling within the moment. Journaling too. Seeing it on paper.
Mhm.
Um, Two, why I think it's important for you to prioritize that is because what you said, and I want to reiterate that, which is it will affect how you do business.
Mhm.
And your clients feel your energy.
Yeah.
I'm a true believer. You can lie with your words, you can lie with your body language, but you cannot fake your energy.
Mhm.
and it will distort your creativity. It will, you know, it will affect your work, right? You
Mhm.
can't deliver on your promises to its fullest potential because you're in the back of your mind, you're like emotionally wrecked,
Mhm.
right? So it's important for you to think about what you're thinking about, and I would say compartmentalize and check that at the door before you step up in here.
Yeah.
When you step up in your business, it's all we're in a service business, right? So you have to make sure your client that is your that is your priority right now,
Yeah.
right? This is to make sure that it's in alignment with what we want for our business when building our brand and making sure that we serve them to our fullest potential as much as we can.
Mhm. Yeah, and nobody wants to book with somebody who has a dark cloud over them, who are, or somebody who's just like they get a booking and like, oh, what is? Why is this girl booking with me?
Yeah.
Like I've seen like a lot of like I'm not gonna say like a lot of people who do like are in the service industry, like a lot of them like dread going to their appointments, but it's like why would somebody want to book with you if you don't even want to be there yourself? So it's like I want to book with somebody who's excited to get
Yeah,
my
yeah.
business, who's excited to do my service. So a lot of that it stems right down to your mental health. Where is your mental health at? Where's your mindset at?
Because your clients, they won't. The clients are very nice. I feel like
Yeah.
not all of them, but a big percentage. They won't tell you straight up. They just
Hmm.
won't show up to the appointments anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you're somebody that's very depressing or draining
Hmm.
emotionally, like your clients can only take so much. At first, it's like, oh, it's gonna be all right. Sis, it's gonna be all right, bro. It's gonna be
Hmm.
good. And then eventually, they're just like, bro, every time I go to the appointment, man, it's
Man,
like,
it's
bro, they want to
always
find me. There's
sad.
always something, bro.
Always sad.
I mean, so like, what I learned is people don't really care as much as you think they do.
Hmm.
I mean, like, find one person if you need to talk to somebody. If not God, go find somebody that you can
I
vent
know.
to
Yeah.
and like seek help. There, find a
Hmm.
therapist, or
Go to
go to
church.
church and talk to the pastor. Something maybe
Yeah.
the pastor will lead you to somebody that's able to
Mhm.
help you within what you're dealing with, right? And
Mhm.
there's some stuff like when my clients come to me and I'm like, okay, that's above like work. Like I don't have experience in that department, but I know somebody that can, and I can shoot you their information if you
Mhm.
want to call these individuals. I trust them with my life
Mhm.
to and know that they're not going to steer you in the wrong direction, right? So like I believe venting and finding people that can help you is important for your mental, right? But I'm also a true believer on the other hand is to not bottle it up because what happens when you bottle something up, eventually somebody's going to trigger you to where it explodes, and then you start doing things that's out of character, and you're going to do something that you regret because you suppressed your emotions, you
Yeah.
suppressed your feelings.
Going back to what you say, about finding somebody that you can vent to, and I think that part is important. Is finding the right person to vent to,
Yeah.
because you don't want to go vent to somebody who's just going to make it 10 times worse. Like
Mhm.
you were here and now you're down here because of the
Yeah,
person
yeah.
you decided to vent to. And like a cool quote that I heard was like, I stopped venting when I found out that vents lead to other rooms. So it's like,
Mhm.
depending on who you vent to, that person's just gonna go tell somebody else and
Yeah.
tell somebody else. So it's just important
Mhm.
that you vent to the right person who's gonna build you back up and not break you down even more.
Somebody that's gonna encourage you, edify you, check you,
Hmm.
right, and let you know when you're wrong,
Yeah.
right? It's. I feel like it's dangerous because I feel like it's dangerous when somebody's just gonna always pat you on the back and like help you wallow up in what you're dealing with.
A yes
I want
man,
somebody
like,
that's gonna check me,
yeah.
right? I remember I called my homie one time. I was like, "Hey, bro, I know you a pastor, right? And you my homie, or you a good buddy of mine, but I'm gonna need you to take that buddy hat off, right? I'm gonna need you to wear your pastor hat,
Mhm.
right? And I want you to I want you to let me know if I'm wrong. I'm gonna let you know
Mhm.
what's going down." And I want you to let me know if I'm the one that's in the wrong. Because if I am, I'll check myself, right? And
Mhm.
I'll take a step back, apologize, and I'll come down. But if I'm not, let me know. I mean, so I can
Mhm.
put pressure on it and check what needs to go down. But yeah, you need to find people that's one, hear you out, okay? Right? If you come to me with anything, I'm gonna hear you out. I'm gonna let you cry about it for a little bit, all right? I hear it to get like full understanding what's going down, getting your perspective on it. And then after I'm like, okay, what are we gonna do about it now?
Mhm.
Right? Because I don't want you to stay there. Right? I'm nice. I'm kind, but I'm not nice. If that
Mhm.
makes sense. I'm the
Mhm.
friend that's not going to sugarcoat it for you.
Yeah.
Right? And I feel
You're
like
gonna
we
tell
need
them what
people
they
like that.
need.
You know what I mean, like, bro, all right, dude, stop crying, bro.
Mhm.
Like, what? Like, come on, dog.
Yeah.
You know what I
And
mean?
yeah, I mean, and a part of that is taking accountability for what was your own doing. Like I think I mentioned that in the beginning is a lot of times we're the ones afflicting this like trauma or like pain on ourselves. So it's like, what did I do? Or instead of like saying like, why did this person do this to me? Why did this person do that? what could I have changed of my own actions
Yeah, yeah.
that could have avoided this? Basically, like,
Yeah, everything is I take everything as an opportunity for growth. And it all has to do with our personal, right?
mhm,
I'm a true believer. If we want to change the output, we must first change the input. And I believe everything is 80% mindset, 20% technicalities. Because your actions are derived from your mental and your thoughts. Everything it starts with a thought, right? And if your attention is somewhere, your actions follow. So I'm a true believer. Like we have to. What the Bible talks about is think on things above. Think on things that are lovely, right? And so like a positive thinking. If you're somebody that's always negative, somebody that's always thinking of like the cup halfway empty than halfway full,
mhm,
like you manifest who you are. So if you're somebody that's always miserable and you're tired of being miserable, you have to change that and start thinking positive.
mhm,
I had a client the other day ask me because she was one of those negative Nancy's. She was like, "Do you find it hard?" Because as we're talking, and I'm combating what she has to say because a lot of stuff she was saying was negative. I was like, "Bro, it's a mindset, right?
it is,
The
yeah,
way you're thinking is a mindset. You're thinking to look at things in a negative lens. You
mhm,
have to switch that into positive, right? Like
mhm,
when you're dealing with certain things, envision it coming out you coming out on top of this, right?
mhm,
Because that right there will give you energy.
yeah,
But if you're looking at it and you're always doom and gloom, like, man, this sucks. Why me? And
yeah,
it was like, why does this always happen to me? When can I catch a break? You
mhm,
manifest that as you speak on it, right? So like I told her, the same energy that you choose to think negative, you could take that energy and choose to think positive,
yeah,
right? And out of that, I believe it will do you more of a service and serve you more compared to what you've been doing,
mhm,
right? It's just a mental switch.
yeah. Mhm. That's pretty much what I would do. You have anything else?
Um,
I had something, but I lost it when I seen Theo biting your head.
also, you seen it on me.
Because you were in the middle of speaking, I didn't want to have to cut. It was on that side biting your head.
Nice. It got me twice, bro. I'm like, bro. I wore some thick clothes today on purpose, and it went for the head. Hold on, bro.
Oh my week. But yeah, basically prioritize your mental health. Be careful with who you vent to and take accountability for what you're adding to your own uh to what's happening in your
Hmm.
life.
Take responsibility for it.
Yeah.
Yep. Everything. There's this law. It's called law of attraction. Who you are is who you attract, right? And maybe you're somebody that's like tired of attracting negative people, right? I would say, well, then stop being negative.
Mhm.
If you're attracting toxic people, then you yourself need to stop being toxic.
Mhm.
Like what I say is write down different traits on what type of people you want to attract, what type of people that you want to kick it with, and then you first have to be that list
Mhm.
for you to draw that type of people.
Mhm.
And it's a mental thing,
Yeah.
right? And yeah,
And yeah, it's to like being aware of who you surround yourself about
mhm,
or around because that could that could play a big part on your mental health too because if you're around people all they do is complain all day or all they do is like talk bad about people you're going to be like the next person that's talking down too. So you want to be around people, surround yourself around people who inspire you, who motivate you to do better, who are going to tell you when you're wrong and do it in a way that's loving and not in a way to just somebody that's just nitpicking at you for no reason or without showing love.
and that's scriptural too. You know what I mean? It says, um, pretty much it says, "Kick it with fools, and you'll be a fool, but run with the wise, and you become wise." I
Mhm.
know I'm paraphrasing, but it's pretty much capping what you just said,
Mhm.
pointing it.
Insert verse right here.
Huh.
But yeah.
But ultimately, take care of your mental. I guess talk to who you need to talk to gain perspective. Somebody that's going to encourage you, edify you, uplift you, and not somebody that's going to help you wallow up in what you're dealing with. Um, and yeah,
And go to church. Jesus is the answer to
you know what I
all
mean.
your problems.
Or you can stop running to the phone and run to the throne. You know what I mean?
Hey, amen. But We'll catch you guys on next week's episode of The Ground Up. If this was helpful, go ahead and give us a like, comment if this was helpful, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.